In 1956, the river was black with them, 100,000. Last year, the big run, pinks, lots of pinks, mostly pinks, but lots of gold. Nice, beautiful steelhead fishing at one time. It was just an excellent river for steelhead.
And then on Christmas Day, and I got into this huge steelhead, and it took me about 45 minutes to land it. And it was an 18-pound, 2-ounce steelhead. That was the biggest fish that I've ever caught, biggest steelhead I've ever caught.
In about 1958, and both my dad and I cast our fly lines, and we both had a steelhead in about 20 minutes. Mine was slightly bigger than my dad's, much to his chagrin, but we're talking in the 18 to 20 pound range. And that's how this river used to be. This used to be one of the most premier steelhead rivers in the province, and it is well known that the species in the Tsolum was very large.
I came to the Tsolum River in February of 1965. At one time, the Tsolum River had something like 3,500 steelhead. That's a lot of steelhead.
Father Charles had got involved with the enhancement effort on this river, working with DFO in the late 60s. This was after the fish had been decimated by the logging and before they had discovered the acid mine drainage. He was one of the people that first noticed that the river wasn't coming back and was one of the sort of agitators to try and find out what was going on. Understanding that this river was devastated by a mining operation that was very short-lived, 1964 to 67, created what we now know as acid mine drainage, and basically devastated the Tsolum to the point where by 1993 there was virtually no returns at all. So when we go to work since 1998, since the Tsolum River Restoration Society's been busy, we have not seen a trend of improvement. We know that we lost the fish in this river, not from the mine site, but the mine site didn't let the fish return. The original loss of the stocks in the Tsolum was very similar right across the province where clear-cut logging had occurred. The traditional type, the historical type of logging that was done literally destroyed streams, destroyed coho habitat, trout habitat, changed the hydrology in a lot of these rivers, loosed gravels up that started moving through the system, became unstable. So in most cases, DFO went to work, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, through their community involvement program, went to work throughout the province, assisting community groups build little hatcheries. By the mid-60s was a pretty good rebound. All over the province, stocks were starting to come back to about 50% of their historical levels through this incredible province-wide enhancement effort by the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. The Tsolum never came back. They put extra effort, they put extra people. They built an enhancement facility on Headquarters Creek. None of this helped. There was absolutely no increase in the stocks in the Tsolum.
Yeah, so what you can see here is about 12.5 acres of geotextile membrane that's been installed over top of the old Mount Washington copper mine pit. The membrane itself is geotextile material, which gives it its strength. It's kind of a woven fabric, and in between that is sandwiched about 1/8 of an inch of bitumen tarry material, so that provides the seal.
Wow, this feels amazing. I mean, I remember the first time I came up here, 1997, and it just looked like a devastation. It just was horrible. I thought, how could we ever let something like this happen? Once this is all planted and we have, it's all green again, it's going to be like it never happened. 20 years from now, this will all be completely naturalized again. This is fantastic. This is a culmination of almost 11 years of my life. And of course, I was only motivated by the other people around me, people like Dave Ferguson and Jackie Sandiford, Father Charles, of course, people like Larry Peterson and Nick Strucy, who do incredible work in other watersheds in the valley, all pushing and pushing to say, that Tsolum is worth it and we need to get it back and don't give up. So I've had that kind of support all the way through. The site got covered. We've been taking water quality samples ever since, and not one sample since that cover was laid is above our target of 11 parts per billion. This is amazing. We're seeing a trend towards health. It absolutely changes the picture for us now. What was our 11-year push to get something done about the mine site and get our water quality back? Now we have the water quality. Now we can really go to work and restore the river.